booties for black girl nerds.
Thanks so much for taking the time to speak with me. I appreciate it.
Jamie, of course, appreciate you. I like your glasses.
Thank you. Listen, I relate to
repping
Brainy
Brainy.
the most. I do.
Come
As
on.
someone who wears glasses, I identify and empathize with Brainy's journey. I'm not as smart as Brainy.
Hey, look, neither am I. And I got my glasses in the other room, but I'm rocking the contacts.
Well, Xolo, it's great to chat with you. You've played superheroes and you've played fighters, and now you're a Smurf. What would you say is the biggest creative shift in this transition in your performance career?
That's, let me think. This project, like, one of the coolest parts about animation, and honestly, it's a spectrum, but I'm someone who gets to the credits and I'm like, what? This person was in the movie? What? This person was in the movie? And I, just the other day, doing some promo for this, we got to go into the community over in Boyle Heights and meet like 100, what must have been like 50 to 100 kids who honestly didn't know who the heck I was, but they were like, we love the Smurfs, and that part of it all was so exciting to me because in a way it feels utterly tangible and like really important and cool. It's like, yeah, that's the teams that I want to be a part of.
You're going to be inspiring the kids out there with this character, like a new generation.
Rihanna is, that's for sure. Brainy, he leaves his glasses everywhere, so he leads, do as he says, not as he does.
You've had a huge run with Blue Beetle and Cobra Kai.
Thank you.
How do you choose your roles now, and what excites you creatively?
I would love to be a part of a great team led by filmmakers who have to tell stories and, who are trying to, and that's not to say that it always has to be positive or anything like that, but I have thus far had such a pleasure getting to work on projects with not only, fantastic people behind the camera, but also in front of the camera, and that's what I want to work on. And it kind of has no face. It could be, a Korean psychological thriller, or it could be, gunslinger western. Like it totally. I'm interested in it all. I'm interested in telling all of the stories. I'm interested in representing in all the ways, and that the team is what it's about for me. Long-winded answer. Sorry.
No, that's great. That's a great tee up to my next question, because I remember talking to you at Netflix Geeked and how much of an anime fan you are. So do you see yourself working more in animation or voice roles in the future?
Yes. I just yesterday did a recording for Sakamoto Days, and I definitely want to do more anime and get to be a part of more teams like that.
They're asking me to wrap, but I have to ask this one last question.
Thank you so much, Jamie.
Tell me!
That's all the time we have. Thank you so much.
That's all the time we have? Okay. Well, listen, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to Black Girl Nerds. I really appreciate your time, and great job.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. I'll see you soon, okay?
Hello. Thanks so much for taking the time to speak with me. I appreciate it.
You bet. Hi, nerdy.
Hello. John, I'm going to start with you. Voice acting, it brings out a different side in performers. How did you find your character's voice, and what kind of direction were you given?
It was just trial and error, and I kept my ears open to listen to because they knew what they wanted. And I had a couple of goofy ideas, and they washed out immediately. So I just trusted them. And it was, like I say, trial and error, and we never did get it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Nick, I really enjoyed your journey as Ken in this film. Overall, how do you think the 2025 version of the Smurfs connects with modern audiences while still trying to stay true to its roots?
Well, I mean, you know, at the heart of the sort of Smurfs mythos is, I find it, you know, to be, I don't want to use any political language, but a community working together for the good of all and treating everyone equitably.
Where does that come from? That's so weird.
And so in this new version, call me crazy, I'm smoking a lot of jazz cigarettes. I think in this new version, it's got a wonderfully humorous new script that's much snappier, and with Rihanna and her whole sort of aesthetic, you know, with the music and the energy and the sass that she brings. It's taking this great brand and just making it palatable for the young people of today.
Well, I love your political takes, so never change, Nick. Never change.
Where does he come up with this stuff?
John, back to you. Were there moments in the booth that reminded you of like working on Monsters, Inc. or other animated films?
For Monsters, Inc., it was different because Billy Crystal wanted to work with me in the booth, and the energy just took off like that. So I knew working by myself, I'd have to furnish my own energy organically. But it was, like I say, you listen hard to what they have to say because you don't want to be in that booth any longer than you have to. Not that it's a bad thing, but it takes so much energy to do one of these things. You want to do it right, and you want to tell a good story that they've provided you. You know, you want to help as much as you can.
I'd love both of you to answer this question. If you had to invent your own Smurf persona, what would your Smurf name be?
Old Smurf.
Old Smurf, okay. Nick, for you.
I guess laborer Smurf. You know, they have a lot of the talents covered in the Smurf village, so I'd like to stay behind the scenes, putting things together, you know, digging the latrines and making sure the roof isn't leaking.
That would be an interesting story to explore into Smurf Village.
Proletariat
So,
Smurf.
Yeah, that's right.
there we go. There you go. Well, Nick, John, thank you so much for taking time to speak to Black Girl Nerds. I really appreciate the conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for taking the time to speak with me. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's good to meet you. It's good to meet you. I love everything in your background right now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I need some Smurfs in my background, actually.
Yes, you do.
Well, I wanted to know, Chris, how did you strike the balance between honoring the original charm of the Smurfs cartoon that I personally grew up watching as a kid, and then also updating it in 2025 for modern day audiences?
Okay, I had the same. Okay, I've got the same experience that you had. I knew the original series, right? I knew or the 80s, like that series.
Saturday morning cartoons, yeah.
This is funny. This is wonderfully strange to me. I was just like, what is this world? I loved it. Then I stepped back from that. Like a few years later, I discovered the comics, the original, Peyo comics. So I always thought like, wow, if I ever get a chance to make a Smurfs movie, I want it to feel like those original comics. Like I want that DNA to be in something that's contemporary, like what you're talking about, right? So something that felt or would feel like handcrafted, like a comic book, but have the sort of movement style of the comics and the tone of that, and in a world, creating a world where that could exist, like a comic style, but with volume, right? That you could step inside that you could be immersed in. That was the goal.
You achieved it. I definitely felt immersed in this story and into the world of Smurf Village. And the animation was just absolutely beautiful. I really enjoyed watching it. What was your biggest inspirations visually as well as narratively when shaping the look and feel of Smurf Village and the world of the Smurfs?
Oh, God, that's great. So I love that question because it's really important. And okay, so creating Smurf Village. Once I mean, I go back to the comics were, no pun intended or not, it was sort of the blueprint, right? Like the reference guide. Like, are we doing it like this? Or are we doing it like this? But in terms of creating Smurf Village and that Belgian forest, wanted it to feel safe and like a place that you'd want to go at least spend a long weekend in and hang out and live in this idyllic environment, knowing that the story was going to take us outside of that, right? And it's these Smurfs who've only lived one life, only have this sort of one perspective on the world, and then it's almost like going to outer space when they go to Paris and beyond on this rescue mission to save Papa Smurf.
Did you approach this more as a comedy or a family adventure? And what was the emotional core for you?
Well, I mean, definitely a comedy. Comedy is king to me. Yeah, because keep it entertaining and also like create comedy that's not just for, it's like you said, it's a family audience, but let's making the effort to extend it beyond just that audience. Something that would make me laugh and just broaden the comedic perspective of it. I think, try to make it irreverent and try to make it unexpected in that way. Emotionally, like the core of the movie is like, there's a character, No Name, who's on this search for sort of his need to belong and needing to feel like he belongs somewhere. He needs to know who he is. It's like an identity search, right? And he doesn't feel like unless I know my place, which is totally relatable, I can't fit in, right? I'm always going to be an outsider, and that's vital, I think, to everyone, is like knowing who you are and like feeling confident about where you stand. But really, in the end, that's great. But it's the power of it's the superpower of Smurfs. It's the community, right? It's that support and it's that connection and love and sense of family that really gives you your strength, or really puts you over the top.
Very wholesome movie, something we need right now. Again, I love the animation and I love the music. Having Rihanna helps.
Yeah.
So great needle drops in this. And congratulations. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to Black Girl Nerds. I really appreciate the conversation.
Thank you for the acknowledgement of the needle drops, because that's some of my favorite stuff in the film. Really amazing.
Absolutely. It was fantastic. Thank you. Right. Bye-bye.
Better shake your booties for Black Girl Nerds. Better shake your booties for Black Girl Nerds.